So on this page, we're going to look at some really big numbers. The U.S. debt clock has huge numbers on it. And again, this too is a footnote that will take us to a website. Today it says the U.S. federal tax revenue is and then what is this number? That's our goal, is to be able to talk about this number using words. So I'll show you the website in a moment, but let's see, look, U.S. federal tax revenue. So this is the money the U.S. government has collected. And that 4 is $4 trillion. And here are all the other place values for the remainder of the numbers. But really all we need to know is that that's 4 trillion. Well, honestly, that's a pretty big number. I'm ignoring it, but that is 51,732,409,032. So that's what I saw when I screenshotted the website. And if we pop over to that website, I'll just show you what it looks like. The footnote takes me to this web address, usdebtclock.org. And then when I click over to usdebtclock.org, you get this crazy page with numbers that are changing constantly. And the U.S. national debt is listed here, which is really big. And this is the number that I had screenshotted on your workbook. And that number has now gone up. So the U.S. government is continuously collecting tax revenue, and I'm not sure how they are getting these numbers in real time. The source is the Congressional Budget Office. Oh, I see. When you hover on here, it says Congressional Budget Office. U.S. Census is the source, and so on. So you can jump over to the different numbers and see how they're getting the information. Oh, look, revenue per citizen. Almost $14,000 per citizen. Okay, so this is kind of fun, and we'll grab some other numbers off of this as well. There's our U.S. population. All right, so going back to our workbook here, this is a chart that reviews place value. So we can say $4 trillion, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 places to the right of the 4. If we want to write this number in scientific notation, what would we write? Well, I'd be inclined to write 4.05, ignore everything else, and then say times 10 to the 12th power. So here's my answer key. Yeah, that's enough accuracy there. You don't have to carry on and give all of this information. And then we go and look at the U.S. gross domestic product. So that's all of the economic output that our country generates. And that is almost $26 trillion. So if our national debt freaks you out, we do have to compare it to the fact that we generate a lot of economic activity every year. And this makes our national debt a little less terrifying. I would say that I'm no economist, but when I see the national debt, it looks like way too big, but this puts it in perspective to some extent. So again, if I was just looking at this number, I would say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That tells me that we're in the trillions. So we're at about 26 trillion. I rounded that up. There are about 127 million private sector jobs and about 9 million self-employed Americans. Bank interest paid, okay, well now there's 9 places to the right, so I round that up and say $28 billion. So I find this kind of fun. We're getting more comfortable with these enormous numbers, and we're able to talk about them intelligently.